Hey, what's up, dear viewers of the tube? My name is Mark and welcome back to my channel. This is my probably fourth attempt to make this video and get it right. I had a major problem with my hard drive, my voice. I was sick. I was kind of still fighting my bacterial infection, whatever the fuck it was. So I'm gonna try to make this video as short as possible. However, there is a lot to cover, so if you want to learn what is the most important thing, the key element, the most vital and critical component of quitting your addiction and stay sober, then stay tuned. Okay guys, welcome back. You probably know that there are countless different strategies and methods and ways of dealing with opiate addiction. Mostly people are concerned with opiate withdrawal. So people go to buprenorphine, which is Suboxone, and there are different strategies on Suboxone alone. There's a maintenance, there's tapering, there's a detox, there's a rapid detox. There's also a sublocade shot that's very common nowadays. So there are so many different strategies with other prescription medications such as methadone and clonidine and Gabapentin. Also, people have been talking about and really swearing by DXM, which is a cough medication that could be used to end your opiate addiction. There's also megadosing of vitamin C, megadosing of loperamide. Kratom has become very popular, and I'm really kind of against heavy dosing of anything really except vitamin C. But kava, phenibut, kratom, all other supplements, magnesium, minerals, vitamins, you name it. You know, there are like literally thousands of different strategies. People can customize them however you want and do whatever you want with them, but this video is not really about that. This video will not tell you which is the magical formula, which method of quitting opiates works best. You know, the answer to that is actually all of them work great if you do it right. So the idea is not to switch from, let's say, heroin or oxy and switch to Suboxone and be on Suboxone for the rest of your life. The idea is for you to kind of get on something, whatever is, you know, whether it's Suboxone or methadone or whatever it is. The idea is to get onto something and then slowly taper yourself to nothing. So the idea is to be absolutely drug-free and not to take mind-altering substances for the rest of your life. So somebody who was taking, and this is a true story, a girl was taking Percocet for a couple of years, and she was very heartbroken because of that addiction. So now she is, and this was, I'm talking about 5 to 6, 7 years ago, and she is so excited about the fact that she is free from her addiction, and she is happy. And then I found out that she's been using Suboxone for the past 5 or 6 years, and not just Suboxone, you know, starting off with 8 and then going down to 1 or 2 milligrams. She's taking 16 milligrams a day. You know, never thought of tapering, never thought of taking less. Once in a while, she said she took less. The story is not about that. What I'm trying to say is, whatever method you choose, you could definitely win with that strategy as long as you taper. You start here and you go down and down and down, and eventually you want to be able to take multivitamins only and feel great. That's the ultimate goal of dealing with any addiction. I'm sorry, I'm using my hands a lot. That's like, you know, helps me stay focused, I guess. So yeah, so there is no magic formula. However, if you want me to go over all of these methods individually in greater detail, to kind of mention the dosings, the duration, how long to be on this, how to mix them, because even nootropics or vitamins and minerals, if used, you know, in a bad way, can actually harm you more than, you know, benefit you. Of those over-the-counter medications, also addictive. You don't want to end up having loperamide addiction or Kratom. And Kratom is another thing that is very deceptive, controversial in my opinion, and don't end up like my buddy who's been using Suboxone, almost went to the finish line, and then he decided to quit because he started to hate Suboxone and his whole big pharma scam, and now he's using 30 grams a day of this tasty and wonderful substance called Kratom. And I'm being sarcastic, obviously, because that shit is nasty. But so you don't want to trade one addiction for another. You don't want to do that. Even those that are on Suboxone and they swear by Suboxone and it saved their life, I am not against it. You probably know if you watch my videos in the past. I'm not against anything. I'm not against Suboxone, Kratom, as long as you see a progress. As long as you, because progress equals happiness, like Tony Robbins says. If you don't see progress, if you don't celebrate little victories every day, you will not be able to get to the finish line, which is, being clean, sober, and happy, and be high on life. That's the ultimate goal. You want to get high on life. So yeah, like I said, I can go over the detail, whatever topic you want me to go over. I know some people were, questioning DXM strategy. Others were talking about vitamin C. I actually have a couple of videos on different strategies of dealing with opiate addiction. I can also share with you something that I'm working on right now. I'm doing very in-depth research and actually experimenting with a couple of buddies of mine. Let's call them my clients or whatever however you want to call them. So I'm actually experimenting right now with tianeptine, adrenaline, a little bit of phenibut, and vitamin C. So plus minus other supplements, also other amino acids will include probably L-tyrosine and L-theanine. And again, don't think that I suggest anybody to do all those together at once or whatever it is, but I am working on coming up with a very cool strategy on minimizing the possibility of being addicted to another substance. So I make sure that they will not take anything for too long, and I'll make sure they're gonna taper it down after day 3, for example. So again, this video is not about that. I know this was a long ass intro, but believe me, it's gonna lead to something that you probably will benefit from. So let's move on to the main topic of discussion. And whichever method you choose, whichever method your doctor convinces you to go with, in reality it does not matter which strategy. They all work. You can be successful only if you reprogram your subconscious mind beforehand. So before you even consider quitting anything, before you consider dropping your drug of choice completely, you want to be able to agree with your subconscious mind that using anything that mind altering leads to failure. So basically right now your mind is associating using drugs with some kind of a pleasurable event. Like Tony Robbins says that all of humans they do what they do for one of two reasons. First reason is to avoid pain, and second reason is to gain pleasure. So whatever you do right now, whatever you're doing right now, you're doing it either to avoid pain or to gain pleasure. Now look at the human being that's addicted to opiates. You're gonna probably get the drill, right? We are addicted to pain pills because pain pills or whatever, opiates, heroin, whatever you want to call it, not only they prevent or help with physical pain, but primarily they numb your emotional pain. And you don't want to think about anything bad and negative, right? And unfortunately, in the beginning, it also gives you immense pleasure. So you're always going to associate opiates with something pleasurable and something that helps you avoid or prevent pain. So now you have to, realize that's the reason why you are addicted. That's the reason why people relapse. because they didn't convince their subconscious mind that opiates is not pleasure, opiates is not confidence, opiates is not being social, opiates is not being lovable. Opiates equals pain. That's what you want your mind to associate opiates with. And until you condition and pre-program your subconscious mind to link, to condition, to associate using drugs like opiates with horrible circumstances, you will not be able to really win. So you could go to the most expensive detox. You could try this new thing that they don't doing now when you go to Costa Rica, and ibogaine therapy, whatever. You can do all of that. And I know ayahuasca, works also. And again, everything will work. You can make anything work for you as long as you commit to yourself and keep promises to yourself. So the very first step, and now we're getting to the main topic of today's discussion. I know, again, I'm sorry for the long ass intro, but first step that you need to do to recondition your subconscious mind, and this is a very primitive version of what really needs to happen, but it will definitely help you in the long run. So you have to come up to the mirror when you're alone and say it out loud, scream it out loud, cry it out loud, I don't care, but forgive yourself for all your past mistakes. So literally come up to the mirror and do something like this. I forgive myself for all my past mistakes. I love myself. I accept myself for who I am, and I love myself unconditionally regardless of what I did in the past. I know my failures are nothing but my past, and my failures made me stronger, wiser, whatever. And look at yourself in the eyes and basically say it, that you love yourself, you forgive yourself for all your past mistakes. You're letting your past go. You will no longer be a slave to your past. You will only look forward to the future, and you know that you can only change the future. You cannot change your past. So really think about it and let those words seep into your subconscious mind. Like, really say it over and over again if you have to say it 10, 20, 30 times, but really think about it. Actually, I'm a huge fan of Tony Robbins. I mention his name in a lot of my videos because I've been to his seminars. I've done the course on my iPhone, which is like Ultimate Edge, and the guy is great. He knows his shit, and he's very great when it comes to habits and changing, creating lasting change. So one very important thing that he talks about is creating lasting change. He never talks about drugs, but I was able to actually conceptualize it and use it for drug addiction with my buddies, with my clients, whatever it is. So in order to create lasting change, you have to really get leverage. Basically, you need to get disturbed. You need to basically realize, like, something needs to happen, and it has to happen now. Like, no more fucking around, no more games, no more playing, no more feeling sorry for yourself. You forgive yourself for all your past mistakes. You realize that your past is your past. You can't change your past, but you can only change your future, and you will change your future now. So once you do that, once you get to that stage, really commit to yourself that you're going to be done with all this bullshit, that you're going to be, the man or the woman of your word, and you're going to do it. And you're going to realize that being drug addict is not okay. You were not born to be using drugs. And again, the further and further we get to the final stages of this video, the more important it gets. Guys, please pay attention. This is a very critical part of the video. You want to close your eyes and picture yourself very vividly. What would happen if you continue using? What will happen if you don't change today? What happens? And be very vivid and be very specific, as detailed as possible. I mean, smell what will happen, see it, feel it, hear it, what will happen with your family, what will happen with your finances, what will happen with your I don't know if you have kids or a spouse, what will happen to your immediate family, the loved ones that depend on you. your parents, what happens with your friends and colleagues and whatever. It's okay if you're gonna start crying. A lot of people actually cry when it comes to that. And by the way, I've been to Tony Robbins events twice, and both times everybody will allow to videotape whatever the fuck you wanted to videotape. However, there was one part in the video where he was changing people's limiting beliefs, something like we're doing now, basically. And this exercise, this little, I guess it was guided meditation almost exercise, when people were, basically he made people close their eyes and visualize what happens if they don't change. And that particular part, nobody was allowed to videotape and record. There's a reason why Tony Robbins doesn't want us to record that part, because that's probably the meat and bones of the whole 5-day program. That's the only part that actually is a life-changing event, and it truly did something to me. I just only did it once, and I never really thought of that. I could not practice it over and over again, because you always leave these seminars pumped up, but then 3 days later you're gonna slide down. So anyway, so you want to really spend good 10, 20, 30 minutes thinking about what will happen to you if you do not change. And then the most critical part. So that's the most critical part, where you want to condition your subconscious mind to link using drugs to pain, and being clean and sober to joy, happiness, prosperity, success. So now the last part of the whole kind of exercise, and this could take 10-15 minutes also. You close your eyes and you see your life 3 months from now, 5 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now. What will happen if you change? And I'm probably going to do a video on that, because honestly, I think this is a very important topic for anything really, not just for drugs or whatever, for exercising, for eating healthy, for adopting good habits, whatever it is. Then you're going to look at yourself and you're going to really see how your life will change. How many people will be impacted in a positive way because of your success? How will your family be? How will your family benefit? How will your career benefit? What about your money situation? What about your career? What about your sex drive? What about your sex life? I mean, you could go as whatever is not right now. Whatever. Some people are, using drugs and they broke. Others have no problem with money. So depending on your situation, be as detailed as possible again, and start with the short-term benefit, and then longer term, and then longer term, and eventually you're gonna realize that even if you're gonna have pain is gonna become your friend. It's gonna become your best friend, because every ounce of pain you're gonna feel today is gonna bring you closer and closer to success and prosperity that's gonna come tomorrow. And that's the beauty of it. You're gonna start to not gonna become fearful. You're not gonna be afraid of withdrawals. You're not gonna be afraid of side effects of pause. You're gonna be much stronger and more resilient. I guess that's what's gonna happen in most cases, at least in the short term. So if you continue using this strategy and using this exercise of accepting yourself who you are, and telling yourself that you love yourself, then you're gonna move on to visual. Then you're gonna go to the part where you get really hard on yourself and say, that's it, I am changing now, I must change, and I'm fucking gonna change now. So get leverage on yourself, get disturbed, get mad at yourself, and declare this war against your problem. Whether it's drug addiction or whatever it is, declare war, to yourself, basically. And after you do that step, then you're gonna visualize what happens if you don't change, and you do it very, very vividly. Will you even be around if you're gonna continue to use? And final part, you will condition your mind for it to know that being clean and sober and staying the fuck away from drugs and all opiates is success, is prosperity, is pleasure. So that's the ultimate goal. Condition your mind and you're gonna win. I really hope this video was useful. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, smash up the like button, leave a comment, give me some feedback. I really want this channel to grow. In order for it to grow, I want to be able to receive feedback from you guys. So let me know what you think about this video. Like I said, if you're not subscribed to my channel and you like my content, please subscribe to my channel. I will talk more about psychology of addiction, psychology of bad habits, and I will try to change our lives, my life and your life together, with different strategies of dealing with addiction, with bad habits, and whatnot. So the ultimate goal is for you to live a happier, healthier, and more successful life. All right, guys. Happy New Year. Peace and love. And I'll see you in my next video. Peace.